So first, let's talk about what's new about nuclear weapons. There are a number of things that are not new about nuclear weapons. On the left, you see a picture of Tokyo after the firebombing, and on right, you see a picture of Hiroshima after the atomic bombing. Many people believe that the potential for total nuclear destruction is what nuclear weapons have changed in terms of the world. That is not the case, because as you can see from the Tokyo picture, there have been many cases in the past where conventional capabilities destroyed a city. Indeed, this goes back to ancient times. The Athenians killed or enslaved the people of Melos. The Romans killed the Carthaginians. The Nazis tried, and certainly would have been successful had they enough time to exterminate the Jews, the Gypsies, the homosexuals in lands that they controlled. As Nobel laureate Thomas Schelling once wrote, against a defenseless people, there's little that nuclear weapons can do that can't be done with ice picks. It's a gruesome thought, but one I think that's true. Schelling argued, however, that a second point, to be able to defeat a nation without defeating the army, was what was new about nuclear weapons. That prior to that, you had to defeat an army. That was the price of admission to have severe punishment. And yet the history of air power suggests you didn't always have to destroy the army first. After all, we were destroying Tokyo before we destroyed the Japanese military. Or a successful blockade, as in 1918, could destroy a population, in this case, starving out the German population. After all, look at the two pictures. Tokyo firebombing killed approximately 100,000. Hiroshima was not significantly different. So what is new about nuclear weapons? I will argue that there are four things that are really important here. The first is the single bomb's destructive power, what has been called offensive dominance. The second is the nuclear delivery revolution. Third, the possibility of mutually assured destruction, or MAD, with survivable second strike forces. And fourth, that crises no longer are just simply contests of military strength, they become contests in risk-taking. Let me explain. The single bomb's destructive power. Recall those pictures that we've just seen. To destroy Tokyo with firebombing took hundreds of bombers. To destroy Hiroshima, it took one bomber dropping one bomb. And that means that the offense has a significant advantage with nuclear weapons. Another case from World War II. In the end of the war, the Germans were launching V-1 rockets against London. And on the most successful day, the British were able to shoot down 97 of the 101 V-1 rockets with conventional warheads on them that the Germans launched at London. But imagine if there had been nuclear weapons. Those four that got through would have utterly devastated London. With nuclear weapons, defense needs to be nearly perfect. And that's a big difference of nuclear weapons. Second, at the same time that nuclear weapons were developed, over time, afterwards we developed delivery vehicles that had much more speed and could cross the world in just minutes. The ICBMs from the United States attacking the Soviet Union during the Cold War, or the Soviet ICBMs attacking the United States, could be delivered in approximately 30 minutes. There's reason why we called those ICBMs the Minuteman. As Thomas Schelling wrote, to compress the catastrophic war within a spasm of time that a man can stay awake drastically changes the politics of war, the process of decision, the probability of central control and restraint. Third, mutually assured destruction was possible for both the attacker and the defender. And what this means is that if one country has a great superiority, nuclear weapons could be used with impunity But if both sides have survivable second strike forces, nuclear weapons on missiles that could be hidden, for example, mobile missiles or submarines, or missiles that were so hardened that no one could destroy them, that no matter who struck first and how badly they were struck, you could still survive with enough nuclear weapons to impose assured destruction of the other side. And that could produce a potential constraint on both sides. There was no advantage. And fourth, crises were no longer a phenomenon of a state that had the greatest military power necessarily winning. Rather, when both sides faced potential suicide if they started a nuclear war, crises could become contests of risk-taking. And risk would be important. Who had the most resolve? Who was willing to take most risks?